it's your girl, Kenitra Moselle, and I am so excited. We just finished up the book and brunch to launch my first book, Grace for This, the devotional. It's a 21-day journey for women who are growing through grief. The conversations that we had in here today was phenomenal. I want to let you know that GRACE is the acronym. It stands for Grief, Rest, Aid, Community, and Evolve. The reality of it is that we are experiencing a grief journey every single day. Every transition can cause you to grief, but are you leaning into your grief? Grieving is also exhausting, so I'm going to encourage you to actually rest. And when you're resting, rest is clarifying. You're going to learn what you do and don't have capacity for anymore. And guess what? You're going to begin to ask with more clarity about exactly what you need. That C stands for community, because when you start asking for help, your people who are meant for this next season are going to respond to your ask, and your community is going to change. And then lastly, when you go through that grace journey, you're going to evolve to the next best version of yourself. So I'm so excited for you to be a part of this journey. You're going to love what we're doing in this community. Follow Kenitra Moselle and follow Grace for This on Instagram and Facebook. Hey, y'all. Hey, it is Wellness Work Wednesday, aka it is the Wellness Work broadcast. I'm your host, Kenitra Moselle, and in this space, what are we doing? We're having conversation. We're helping you get connected so you can do what? Make a commitment. Say it with your chest. I want y'all to do that, right? Write it in the comments. Say, I am making a commitment. And I love the pivot we have had, hey, y'all, this year, because we are doing conversations with therapists, leaders, builders, and brands that are doing what? Making impact through wellness-based initiatives. Let me see y'all in the comments. Say that thing. I am committed. I think that's what I tell y'all, because I tell y'all to do stuff and I can like forget it in the same breath. I'm making a commitment. I see y'all. Hey, Sister Cassie. Hey, Alexandra A. Marie. Hey, Kayla. Hey, T. Hey, Sister Paula. Sister Paula was in this thing at 12 o'clock, 00, honey. Y'all not playing these games with us. I see y'all. We are. I'm sorry. I'm moving so fast. I kicked my own self out. I'm sorry. Y'all, I apologize. I kicked my own self out. Did it do it? Y'all, Facebook was doing something. Facebook has been like boycotting. I don't know what's going on. Somebody figure out why Facebook is not sending to Facebook. Look, the month that I do a good job and schedule everything in advance and give people their links, half of the thing don't want to work. The devil is a lie. I will be equipped and informed, because we gonna get this wellness work out there, honey. Period. And the point blank. So y'all, let us know how you doing. We're in our Growing Through Grief challenge right now. So I want y'all to do this. Drop your number in the comments, right? So if you are a new person inside of this space, welcome. We're glad to have you. We do this thing called Growing Through Grief. We call it the GTG squad. Why? Because we grow through grief together. We're not just doing the wellness work, but we are actually grieving, healing, and building together in community. So I want to welcome you to this space. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do that. Okay. I'm looking at my notes over here, right? I'm looking at my notes and everything because I'm excited for the conversation that we are having today. I'm excited for us continuing to have the conversations that we have been having this month, right? Peace be still. Y'all write that in the comments for me. Peace be still. We're still speaking peace over ourselves, and we need to speak that peace over ourselves. We've been really anchored in Psalms 46 and 10 to know that there are battles that God is fighting for us, and there's a victory that's already won on our behalf. So there are moments where we actually have to do the work of choosing peace. We have to do the work of choosing peace, right? So we are peace being still. We've got these GTG numbers in the comments, that 1 to 5, 5 being I'm amazing, 1 being baby I'm low, come pick me up because I don't know, right? I see 4s and 5s in here. So shout out to us for being aware of where we are and making sure that we're doing that work, y'all. So I'm looking for something. I can't find it quite fast enough, but I will say shout out to everybody who is in the Growing Through Grief Challenge, we do have some special things that will be coming out to y'all via email. This is week 3. We do our group. Group therapy with our director of wellness, Coach Q. Right? We do our Growing Through Grief group therapy with our director of wellness, Coach Q. And so I want to let you all know that this isn't just something that we talk about, but we're actually building this thing together in community. There are spaces that we are creating with the intention that we will be better because of it, right? So shout out to Coach Q and for what she does. Shout out to everybody who has tapped in. If you want to learn more about the Growing Through Grief Challenge, if you want to tap in for some of this community work, you can visit graceforthis.net and you can learn more about the challenge. We help you identify your grief, own your growth, and develop your personal wellness plan, baby. It ain't got to be the complex thing. We just trying to give you a foundation to work with. Okay, because when you out there solo dolo and you have no clear direction on like what's going on, no, we want to help give you a solid foundation so that you will know what your commitment work is going to look like. All right, y'all, taking that deep breath. So if somebody is missing, I want y'all to send them a message and say, "Hey, we on Facebook today." Share it out so that the homies are not missing us. We will figure out. I'll get with our director of marketing and figure out why in the world the Facebook is not cooperating. But I'm excited for the conversation. And we got a really special guest today. Look, she GFT squad too. Right. I love it when the squad gets to come on here. Why? Because remember, we're having conversations with builders and businesses and brands and leaders who are doing the work, who are really doing the work, and then they're building according to that work. So that's like the very best mashup when you got builders who are wellness-based builders. Ooh, get them, right? That makes me very, very excited. So without further ado, I am going to introduce this wonderful lady to y'all. I want you to know that her name is Jerecia Lee. She is the founder and CEO of Journey with J.Lee Consulting. 3 things about her. She is passionate about helping us to navigate unhealthy relationships, building resilience, and preventing burnout. Come on, y'all. Where my builders at? Preventing burnout. You can visit her at jlcjourney.com. She's got some amazing things that she's going to talk with us about today. And so we're talking about peace be still, and this is it. She got some it in her story. So without further ado, I want y'all to say Journey with J.Lee in the comments. Okay, everybody do that. Journey with J.Lee in the comments. Greetings and salutations, sis. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to come and speak and spread some information. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about, we've got like a nice little spread of things, y'all. Like we're having a conversation today. Like she and I have had some conversations. And so we're going to just allow the Lord to lead us in the conversation in a way that supports who is in our community, grieving, healing, and building, right? So I want to tell y'all this before we even get into it. I want y'all to be ready to drop questions in the comments. I want you to be prepared to drop questions in the comments because she and I both have some lived experience that we probably can give you some little wisdom nuggets. We ain't gonna go masterclass or anything like that, but we want to be able to share some wisdom with you all right there. So, ma'am, Miss J.Lee, I'm gonna pull myself down. I would like for you to introduce everybody to you, tell them who you are, where you're from, and what you are doing, and then we're gonna have this conversation.
All right. So my name is Jerecia Lee. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I'm licensed in Virginia and Georgia, currently reside in Georgia. I am from South Carolina. I started my journey very young with deciding to become a counselor. I knew from my high school psychology class that this is something I wanted to do, but wasn't for sure the journey. But I have been in this field for over a decade. I've had the opportunity to work with kids as young as 5, all the way up to adults at 65. I've had the opportunity to work in school settings, in the home setting, in community settings, and on military installations. Currently, as she stated, my specialty is working with individuals and organizations on how to build healthy relationships. And it can be a healthy relationship with ourselves is where it starts. healthy relationships within our family dynamics, within our partnerships, within our friendships. And then, of course, the most important one is at work, because we spent a lot of time at work.
That's good stuff. That is good stuff. Look, let me come over here. I gotta show you the love in the comments because of you know how we do. There are things that we do here. We are Gas Me Up Committee. We are the model of gas.
And I appreciate it. I'm gonna take it all. I'm gonna receive it all. Okay.
Yes. So thank you. That relationship work is really some work. But one of the things that I've learned for sure over the journey is that we have relationships with everything around us.
Yes.
So we can't just like compartmentalize. We cannot compartmentalize relationship to somebody who we married to or we're dating. That is inaccurate as the day is long. Your relationship with your father would impact the relationship that you have with the person that you're dating. Your relationship with your mama will impact the relationship that you have with somebody you are dating. How we see work and validation, and honey, there just so many ways. So when you talk about the unhealthy relationships, I want to start there, right? And we have all been in some kind of unhealthy relationship, whether or not we saw it while we were in it, or whether we got out of it and looked back and was like, that was toxic as a mug. Like, you know, what in the world? Can you tell me what led you to the place to build that emphasis on helping people with navigating unhealthy relationships?
Okay. So my journey, like I said, I knew that I wanted to be a therapist my senior year in high school. So in that journey, you know, you got to go get your degrees, you got to do the things. And someone along the way introduced me to Habakkuk and Write It Plain. So for a long time, each year, I would write it plain what my goals was, what I would want to accomplish. And one of the things that I had put in there was that I wanted to work for the federal government. And so in 2015, 2016, I was able to transition from working from a community-based organization to federal government. You know, in my mind, it was the best thing ever. Yes, I've accomplished my goal. God has heard me. My time has passed. Like, this is about to be it. And truly enjoyed the work that I was doing. I started working with the federal government in Virginia. And then when I moved to Georgia, I continued my work with the federal government. Again, everything was going great. It was beautiful. Was able to transition in a little setbacks just because, you know, each branch does things a little bit differently. And I worked in a very specialized program. And so, you know, very highly regulated. Like, there was no ifs, ands to me in my eyes, because I am also a very logistic person. It's like, if it says I need to write this 5 times, I'm going to write it 5 times. I'm not going to write it 6. I'm not going to write it 4. I'm going to write it 5 times. Right. And if it say I need to do it in all caps, I'm going to write it in all caps. That's just what it says. Again, if you tell me exactly what I need to do, I'm going to do it. But in this program, it started out, like I said, really good, very inviting community. It was like a family, and not one of those toxic families, but like people really got along. We had each other's back. It was just beautiful. So felt very good in my decision, or my family's decision, to move here to start this journey. Quickly. So the other thing is that I don't want to skip over is when we relocated our whole family to Georgia, I was only a term position. And if you know anything about the federal government, that means you only.
Hold on, wait a second. I don't know if you saw it or not. That man said, journey with J.Lee is so fine. And if we're gonna talk about the whole family moving, I feel like this man needs to be shouted out, sis. Who is this?
That's my husband.
Okay. I
definitely missed it. No, that's my husband.
Okay, it's him and okay, y'all be clear. All right, go ahead.
I definitely miss it. And let me tell you this. So for all this journey that I have been through, he has definitely been a support, a motivator, an encourager all the way. Like, I cannot tell him thank you so much. So publicly, thank you. You know, I tell you behind the scenes, but yes, that is the biggest supporter. But so we moved here with me only having a job for 1 year. 1 year. We didn't know where we was going to go afterwards. We didn't know if I was going to get hired on anything, but we moved with me only having a job 1 year and him looking for a job. Okay. So we moved here. Like I said, beautiful. It was nice. I really enjoyed it. It was, going great. Before that year was up, I was encouraged to apply to be a permanent employee. So of course, applied to be the permanent employee. Things still going well. However, things start to shift, right? And in this shift, there became a lot of confusion, a lot of uncertainty, and not with me personally, but within the environment that I was working in. And so with that shift came a lot of uncertainty, and I am kind of a natural leader, but I also know how to be a follower when it's appropriate. So I kind of started stepping into doing some leadership things, but kind of behind the scenes. Oh, you need me to do this? Got it. Just doing the things. And as leaders started transitioning out, the opportunity came for me to become a leader. And the mindset was, I'm already doing the things anyway. I understand what I'm doing. I know the program. I know how to do this. Like I have, like the environment again was good and safe.
Yeah.
Why not? I know she's not watching. She might watch the replay, but I will tell you, my mom, when I told her about it, she was like, are you sure you want to do this? You get stressed out easy. And I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll be great. It's perfectly fine. Okay. So the shifts happen. I become a leader within the organization. And again, everything is actually really good because I have leadership that supports. I have leadership that, is guiding and is supportive, and it was fine.
Hold on, wait. I want to make a note because she's unpacking this story. I'm gonna just be like the little point person. Okay. Notice that when she came into leadership, she was in a safe environment. She had been taught and trained well. There were people who were helping her to navigate this experience. Where she was when this began, it was a safe environment. Shift and safe. Yeah. Okay.
So we're in this safe environment. Things happen. Everybody's job got their little shenanigans, right? But it was still a safe environment for me, right? I still felt okay. Whew. Then the individuals that made the environment safe decided that their journey was over at this location. And not really knowing what that meant, I did know that, things were not going to be the same. And I knew that. And so I honestly had already started applying to other positions because it was like, I feel like it's my time to go to, because this is just, it's too murky. It's too murky. However, nothing was popping. And so the leadership leaves, and the initial leadership that's kind of just there, it's still okay, because that leader that's now kind of taken over, even though she's higher, she's removed, like she's not direct, still knows my work ethic, and still knows me, still knows that I know what I'm doing, still knows I know the program, and still has confidence and faith in me. Right? And so I'm still able to do what I need to do and get the support that I need. Now, baby, it turned. There was another leader who did not know me, who didn't know my work ethic, who didn't know me from a can of paint. And so while this is happening, we're also bringing in new people who don't know me, who don't know my history, who don't know my credentials, who don't know what I've done, who don't know that I know what I'm doing. And also, let's be clear, I'm Black in a leadership position. So with the combination of new people, the combination of a brand new leader, and again, I told you in the beginning that the program is highly regulated. And again, if you tell me we got to write it 5 times, I'm going to ask you like, but why? And then if you say, oh, it's because we have to, I'm not going to question it anymore, because guess what? It's not my program. I'm working for you. This is not mine. So I don't feel like I have any skin in the game in that sense. Like, I'm not going to get all worked up about something you're telling me to do that I applied to do, if that makes sense. So a lot of new faces coming in has lots of questions. I'm trying to explain it the best that I can. You know, my answers are not good enough. Great. So now they go and elevate it to the higher leadership. Higher leadership hears it and automatically thinks she doesn't know what she's doing. Mind you, I told you they don't know me. They don't take out the time to get to know me. They don't get to take out the time to have conversations with me. It automatically becomes accusations. It automatically becomes, well, you need to do X, Y, and Z. It automatically becomes, I'm on the defense of defending why I am continuing to make the same decisions that we have always made, and why I continue to make the same decisions that we have always made. So now I'm in a battleground.
Hold on, wait. When the safe place turns into a battleground, son, hostile, like, that's traumatic.
It is, and you don't even realize that it's happening. I didn't even realize that it was becoming a battleground, if I'm being truthful, as I'm going through it. I didn't know it. It was slow. It was slow. It was nothing. It was slow.
Yeah.
Did not realize that I'm no longer in safe territory. So I'm still trying to move in safe territory, but now I'm realizing, whoa, I'm stepping on landmines. Wait, I can do that? Whoa.
My foot.
Whoa. Wait, this is an issue? But it's never, wait. So the environment is now hostile for me. And I'm only speaking from my perspective, right? It's hostile. Literally walking on eggshells. Literally, I'm probably a little paranoid if I'm being truthful.
Yeah, real.
Because I don't know who to trust. Because with all the accusations, again, there's no conversation with me. So I don't know who's making the accusations. I don't know. And the accusations are broad to where I don't even know what I'm trying to fix, but I'm being told to fix it. Right? So I'm throwing darts blindly, trying to adjust, trying to fix, and nothing's working because, one, I don't think it was supposed to work, but nothing's working. My value is no longer valued.
Say it again.
I am no longer valued in this environment.
What do people do when they don't value something?
Destroy it. Tear it down.
Stuff. Throw it any old kind of way. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Note to self: when you are no longer valued, people will not care. You won't receive proper care. There's no care for how you treat it, how you were spoken to, for what you do. Let that be an indication. If I ain't handling you well anymore, you have permission
to part. And so I'm literally in a whole year in this unhealthy and toxic environment.
Well, wait. The 12 months of the toxic.
12 months of toxic.
Oh, Lord.
Because I don't even realize it's toxic, honestly, until probably about 6 or 7 months in. Because I know there's a shift, but I'm so on the grind of trying to make sure things are still moving, make sure things are still going, right? That even though rocks are being thrown at me, I'm just like, okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. Right? I'm not like, oh, wait a minute. This is not supposed to be happening. It's like, I'm literally taking the punches. Yeah. Taking the punches from left to right. And so it got to the point to where I'm coming home every day complaining to my husband. He gets to the point to where he's like, if you ain't gonna do nothing about it, I don't want to hear nothing else about it. Still my safe space, but he's right. Like, I'm literally complaining about the same thing over and over. And how many times do we do that in relationships? We just complain and don't do anything about it. So I'm bringing it home. My son is being impacted because now his grades is dropping because I can't show up for as mommy. I can't give him what he needs to make sure that he's okay. And a lot of times, we kind of don't think about the kids and, but when we're impacted, the kids are impacted. And he was definitely impacted. On top of it, I actually started having physical responses. I have migraines. Everyone knows, like, the more stressed I get, the more migraines I have. And so I went for my typical cycle of a migraine. It's probably about every 3 months. I'm going to have a debilitating migraine where I have to lay down. I have to shut down. I have to, like, there's nothing I can do. And having my regular migraines probably about once a month, maybe two or three times a month. I went to having a migraine every day, functioning, taking my medicine, putting my little sunglasses on, because also when I get a migraine, I get sensitive to light. Yeah. So sunglasses on, taking my medicine, pushing through, and then probably went to debilitating migraines to about every 3 weeks. But still, even in the debilitating migraine, still trying to push through. It got even worse to where when I pull into the parking lot, I'm having a physical reaction where I'm crying. I feel like I'm hyperventilating. I'm starting to shake. I'm looking to see who cars is in the parking lot to see who stuff I gotta deal with today. It's bad. It's bad. Knowing I was burnt out, even try to communicate, hey, I'm getting burnt out. I need help. No help.
To the people who you work with, like, this is you communicating, saying, hey, I'm experiencing burnout.
Yep. Communicated with my leader. Hey, I think I'm getting burnt out. And their question was, well, what do you do when you typically get burnt out? I said, I've never been burnt out. Not like this. I'm the queen of, like, when I start feeling things a little bit off, I'm going to go ahead and exit because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. So, but I was in a place to where I couldn't exit. Because remember, I was telling you, I was applying to jobs. When I say there was not one interview, not one referral to the hiring, nothing. It was radio silence. And I couldn't understand it because, again, I'm licensed, I'm qualified, I have the experience, I have the work ethic, right? So I see you, Raquel. Yeah, that's, it's sad. And so, sorry, what do you do when you reach burnout stage? I'll come back to that. That's a great question. Kanisha, don't let me forget to come back to that, please. So communicate that I'm burnt out, and I knew I was burnt out. And because I had I struggle with if this was an inappropriate conversation. I'm still going to stick to that. It's not an inappropriate conversation. We had a team meeting and the staff is telling me that they're burnt out. They're concerned about some of my decisions and they don't like what I'm doing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So I'm hearing this, but this is not the first time that we've had these conversations. And I'm a person, like, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not to just do as I say, like, I'm just not. So I'm going to tell you why I do what I do, the decisions that I make. However, if you keep pushing back, like, I don't know what else to tell you. And so we got to this place to where they keep bringing up the same thing over and over. And I'm trying to communicate, like, I hear you're burnt out. I'm burnt out too. I hear you crying in your car. Guess what? I'm crying in your car too. And in the moment, I felt like everyone was still wanting me to do more and wanting me to show up. And in my most vulnerable moment, and I was told it was very inappropriate, my most vulnerable moment with a room full of social workers, I stated, I have nothing to give to you. Now, it may have not came out like that. Duly noted. I don't know how it came out. Being transparent.
It came out honest. It came out how it felt.
It came out honest, and it came out raw. I have nothing to give to you. I was crucified for making that statement to my team. I get it as a leader partially, but I don't get it because I'm still a human. And in a room full of social workers, I feel like we should all be able to say, hey, like, I'm burnt out. I have nothing. So how do we move forward? But that was not received that way whatsoever. And it became literally the turning point of everything I did was under a microscope. I can't call people certain names. It was crazy. You can't pour from an empty cup, and that's all I was trying to say, but nobody heard me. So it just was really bad. I ended up having to go to EAP because when I tell you, like, the stress and everything was just really bad. And I am so thankful that I went to EAP.
Breakthrough. Hold on, wait a minute. Question.
Yes.
Could you have gone to EAP at any time in this process?
I could have went to EAP at any point in this process. However, remember, I didn't know that it was as bad as it was. The saddest thing for me is when I realized that I never advocated for myself. I advocate for everybody else. You know, I try to be there for everybody else, but I never advocated for myself until I feel like it was too late. Because once I started advocating for myself, the handwriting was on the wall that I was done. I'm gone. Because also, as I advocated for myself, it still fell on deaf ears. Right? There was no reception to it.
It's almost like the environment had time. It had more than enough time to establish a foundation against you.
Yes.
And so advocacy would not have served.
Advocacy did not serve whatsoever.
Yeah.
If I would have realized and maybe been able to advocate for myself earlier, maybe. Because I was asking for the simplest things when I did start advocating. You keep saying everyone has these issues with me. But why are we not having mediation?
That part.
Why are we not coming to the table? Why are we not trying to figure this out? Well, you need to do X, Y, and Z, and then there's conversations with these people, but there's no what's the name. And at this point, I'm nervous to try to have conversations with anybody by myself or in a group setting because it's always being turned. So at that point, we need a mediator, right? So why, as leadership, you guys are not even thinking about mediation? But like I said, once I realized, oh crap, this is how we fix this. This is how we should be addressing this.
You have never had this type of problem before. So it wasn't that. It's different when you are the advocate for somebody else. When you are the person that is experiencing, I'm gonna say growing pains because it produced something, and we finna get to what it produced, baby. But it's different when it is you, and when you are experiencing it, and just kind of like you said, the temperature just kept rising and rising and rising. It was a gradual increase in it, and we're used to putting on the cake. We're used to handling the business. Where this used to be so and so, and sometimes we just orbit ourselves into what it used to be to make us deal with what is not anymore.
That part,
yeah.
Yes, So finally went to EAP. She's helping me gather myself, finally getting reassurance. And I'm not going to say, so I don't want to say that and discredit the outside people, right? Because my tribe outside was reassuring, was like, girl, I don't know how you're doing that. That's crazy. But within the organization, got the reassurance. It's not you. That's not okay. How do you want to move forward? What are you going to do? And in one of those conversations, I cannot remember exactly how she worded it to me, but it was like, you're supposed to be doing something. And in that moment, I literally just started laughing because I knew what I was supposed to be doing. It clicked. Everything just clicked. And she was like, what is it you're supposed to be doing? I said, God told me I was supposed to open up my own private practice.
Hold on, wait. I'm going to do something. I want you to say it again. Hold on. I want you to say it again now.
God told me that I need to open up my own private practice.
Mm.
So from there, the work literally began. My meetings with her transitioned from trying to process everything to putting things in place to do this successfully and in order. Because if it was me, he revealed me that I'm supposed to do a private practice. All right, I'm about to quit. I'm done. I'm gone. And she was like, no, ma'am, you're not. You gotta put things in place to make sure that it is done appropriately and right. So I will say, once I had that revelation, work was nothing. Oh, I'm gonna come in there. Hey guys,
I'm gonna go.
how y'all doing? Oh, really? That's an issue today? Okay, well, what we gonna do about it? Like, the whole attitude changed, because guess what? I'm free.
Woo!
I'm physically there.
Because
I'm physically there, but I'm free.
Ooh, God.
So started putting in the work, started putting ducks in order and making sure, girl, don't fit the mold. I started putting things in order with her help and talking to my husband and just doing the things. And Journey with J.Lee was birthed. And the journey is very intentional, because it is a journey. I didn't necessarily want to use my name, but I couldn't come up with nothing else. So here we are, we're journeying with J.Lee, because we are going through that process. And anytime you work with me, I'm going to go through it with you as your cheerleader, as your motivator, as your encourager, whatever you may need in that moment to help you get to where you're going to get. So Journey with J.Lee was born, and in that, he literally started dropping, okay, this is what I want you to do. This is what you want to do. This is like, here's the thing. My initial book is just like, bam, 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 bam. And things would just align, because if you're not a therapist, doing a private practice, it can be very scary if you don't know what you're doing. And let me be clear, I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. Billing and all the other stuff, marketing myself, had no clue how to do any of that. But I was in close communication with another, she's like my sister, she's a colleague, she's a lot of things to me. But she was trying to do the private practice part-time. And so I was kind of, as she was going through her journey, like, okay, keep me updated. Let me know how that goes. Let me da-da-da-da. And there was a couple of things she did. I was like, yeah, I can't do that full time. That's not going to work for me. However, something hit for her. And when it hit for her, she shared the information with me. And once she shared the information with me, when I tell you, it just started falling into place. Okay, that's what I need to do. Okay, so you don't have to have all this together. You just need to do this, and this will get you there. And so
it just went. Like, y'all you hear how, I'm come back to the comment. Our journey is productive. I say that grief is a gift, but we can sometimes be so focused on the part of the journey that is difficult that we don't see that is sending us like towards a destination. And it took the EAP representative point of contact to say, what you supposed to be doing?
Literally.
What about the rest of this? You know? Like, oh my gosh. I wrote some stuff down. I want to pin that. Praise God. And thank y'all for your I'm gonna write down some stuff I wrote down. Oh, it's only 12:39. Boop. And I want y'all, if y'all got questions or something like that, because I know it's a lot of us who are in working environments.
Yes.
And God might be telling you to build something. So do you build and leave your job? Do you build while still working your job? Is your job to fund your work? Right. So I really want us to sit with unpacking that, because sometimes you don't just up and leave. That's right. The money. That's your startup. That's your business startup money. You know? So one of the things that I wrote down, I heard it so clear while you were speaking. I heard, and there came a Pharaoh who knew not the God of Joseph. The people who knew who you were, who knew your character, who knew the results that you were able to produce, they left a scenario. That is how the Egyptians ended up in the slavery and bondage, because there came a Pharaoh who knew not the God of Joseph. And so when you don't have that type of covering there, then there is a perishing. There's a type of perishing that begins to happen. And so that was the experience that happened, because it wasn't just you that was having a hard time. The people up under you were having a hard time. And then the persons with authority to correct or redirect folks did not do that.
At all.
Yeah. 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 Right. This is the other thing I wrote down, right? And I'm watching the comments, y'all. We steward other people's programs well, but do we steward us well? We love to get behind somebody else's vision.
Where's ours?
And will reinforce what their thing is supposed to be. But honey, what happens when you got to be the one, come on, Habakkuk, that's got to write the vision and make it plain. And it's not for you to run with it. It's because God is getting ready to cause you to build something so big. Your team gonna need to know what that thing is supposed to look like.
Yes.
Right. So that was really powerful. And I know that's where I find myself right now, is the write it and make it plain and rewrite it. Like, okay, you need to adjust this SOP. Like, is it clear? How is it impacting? How is it impacting the experience of the people under your leadership? I got a question.
Okay.
From the perspective of being a builder who has worked in an environment where the employees were no longer thriving, what is something that you would adjust to make sure that the employees are in a thriving environment so they can serve, like they signed up to serve?
So what I can say about it, if it was my program, because here's the part that a lot of people struggle with when we're talking about corporate and federal. When you're working for someone else, there are standards and things that has to be done. And using that particular program, like, it was what it was, right? And it's hard to adjust when there's not a lot of adjustments that you can make. And so I do think, honestly, the only thing that I think that I could do differently, or when people are in corporate environments and that are leaders, is actually having a conversation with your team to see what it is that they need, right? Because we talk about love languages, but there's also a love language in work, how we receive appreciation, right? And everyone's is not the same. Some people like money, some people like praise, and so what is it that you need, and making sure that people are aligned with the mission. I think the other thing is sometimes, and this is what I had to learn as a leader, we have to let things fall. And that's the scariest thing to do, because it's like, if we let things fall, what happens? Do we get fired? But sometimes we have to let things fall because we can't carry it anymore. We can't, like, it's just too much. So I would say checking in with your employees to see what they need and determining, is it time to let something fall? Because it's not okay to require, like, in my counseling sessions now, like, I hear people saying, oh yeah, I got to work after hours. For what? I'm not getting paid. I will say that was one thing I never required of my staff. Unless you on call, don't you work after hours. We're going to deal with the fallout. Like, we're not doing that, right? Yeah. But they're being required to do things that's not realistic. And the leaders don't care. The management don't care. And I would say, honestly, if you're in one of those environments, it's time to go, because you're not going to change them.
You are not going to change them. Your absence. Let me tell you something that'll change people. Absence.
It does. It does. Things start falling that they feel like is important. Now, what they will try to do, they may try to fire you. But again, if everyone is like, no, we just can't do this, like, we've got to figure something else out, because, we're in this era of life where how can we get the most done the cheapest way?
Oh.
So as humans, that put a lot of stress on us, because we got bills we got to pay, we got things we got to do. And it's like, I can't afford to lose my job, but you also can't afford to die.
Yeah. Let me mute myself.
Right. So I see Alexandria pull her question back up. What do you do when you reach the burnout stage? I would encourage you to figure out why you're burnt out. beyond the, okay, we got too much going on, right? But like, what is pulling at us? What is draining us? Is it the job? Is it a relationship? Is it that I'm trying to hold everything up and everything actually needs to fall down? So what you got to stop and be like, okay, what is actually burning me out? What is draining me? And you can know that by when you wake up, if it's on your mind and you automatically get stressed out, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And so to the best of our ability, we got to remove that thing, because what I also learned, like I would go on vacations and my vacations was interrupted, but I would go on vacations, but my vacations didn't help my burnout because I was too far gone. I had to come out of that environment.
Too far gone. Elaborate. It's in you.
So when you're burned out, like at the early stages, if you can catch it, right, you can do some tweaks, right? You can shift some things where you're getting more of a balance, right? Where you're receiving more than what's being poured out. And so if you can do that early on to where you're receiving more, where you're being filled more than what you're being burnt out, you can shift, right? You may be okay. But if you're to the place to where you're empty and every time something is poured in, it's automatically taken right back out.
Completed.
You got to take, so I like to use the analogy of a soda bottle and straws going into the soda bottle. Right? And so if you got to remove those straws. And some straws we can't remove. I can't remove being a mother.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to remove being a wife. I don't want to remove being a daughter. I don't want to remove being a sister. But I can remove the biggest straw that I know I had at that moment, which was the job.
Chop
and
that.
Chop.
Make it smaller. I'm gonna make it's one of them gusher straws. We're gonna bring you to this.
You don't need the gusher straw. Your work should not be your gusher straw. It should not be your milkshake straw. It should not. Oh, but those are some things you got to evaluate what's going on and why we're burnt out, and we may have to remove if we can. And if we can't remove, we got to set boundaries.
Yes, come on back. That's good. Hold on, wait, because I'm looking through the comments. That's a perfect, why don't we advocate for ourselves?
I think Kanitra said it earlier. When you're so used to advocating for everybody else and looking at everybody else and trying to make sure that everybody else is good, we don't ever hold the mirror up to make sure that we're good.
First.
Right? Like we're helping. And those of us that are helpers, it's easy for us. Oh, you good? Like, let me encourage, let me advocate, let me We've got to start looking in the mirror. We've got to start doing a self-assessment of ourselves. And honestly, we should be doing it daily, in the morning and at night. How do I feel waking up? What's going good? What do I need to shift? At night, ooh, what went bad? What went good? What filled me? What drained me?
Ooh, what filled me and what drained? What poured back? What took from?
Yep.
That's good. That's a great, y'all write that. Write that in there. That's homework.
Yes, right. You have to shift
Yeah.
You have to shift how we talk. Words matter. And that became very evident to me as I was making my transition. Like, one of the things that was revealed to me was that my tongue is very powerful. One, it's in the Bible. The tongue is very powerful, right? But mine is very powerful in that I am supposed to encourage and uplift others. So I cannot also curse and downplay and do other things to bring other people down with the same mouth, because what does it say in the Bible? A tree can't have two fruits.
Put your finger down. That's good. What builds me, woo, and what drains me.
Yep.
I definitely want to run back to what you shared about the impact when the work went home.
Mm-hmm.
when it rolled over to husband and when it rolled over to household, hey Siri, we have a problem.
Absolutely.
Do not collect 200. There is something else that needs to be addressed. So if you've never thought about it, if you want to know how well you're doing, look at your children. Because that will tell you how well you are doing, because they are still a reflection of us.
Who we are.
Hush, girl.
You said, hey Siri, one too many times. She said, what you did, girl?
Right? But that looking at our children, our sister Kayla talks about that a lot. And then our sister Raquel also does the wellness. She said, I'm coming back, and she says the work-life wellness conversations. There's so many more conversations that we could have, like stemming from this. But I want you to tell us what you have working, because you have really, really poured. Wait a minute, Gas Meal Committee. This was Jerecia's first time sharing her story on a public platform, y'all. She has not told that story before. So let's love on her and cheer for her. You did an excellent job walking through. Good. They was coaching in the comments with the deep breaths. Right? So y'all, we have to remember that our story is powerful. And a part of us getting to the other side of the story is braving the work to tell it and give voice to it. So big love to you for that step, because you are not alone. Right. You are not by yourself. They made the EAP for a reason, Lord Jesus.
Right.
Reasons like such, right? But it's beautiful to see what God produced out of that. He was
purposeful.
He was tender. This is my version of like a tenderizer. You know, you had a little tenderizer, you got the side with the little edges on it, and then you got the flats. That's what I said right here. But that's so good though, because when you use a tenderizer to prepare meat, you don't do it to damage the meat. You are preparing it for the next place in which it will be plated to be a pleasure for somebody else to experience, right?
Absolutely.
So we have to trust and honor God while asking the right questions, because we will assume that we have to bear the weight, when he also said, I'm not going to put more on you than you can bear. But you need to understand, when you have gone from bearing to building, it's time for me to go build what the Lord said. So we've got to make sure we've got, I feel like God has given us frameworks and models. And so I want you to talk. Hold up. Sis dropped something. She said, from stuck to unstoppable. Tell us about this, from stuck to unstoppable, baby, because I feel like you qualified to tell us.
Yes. So in my journey, one of my signature topics that I do, because in addition to providing the individual counseling, I do and can come out to communities and events and organizations to provide wellness workshops. And one of my signature topics is from stuck to unstoppable. And if you've been following me on my LinkedIn page or on my Facebook and Instagram page, I have been dropping gems and information to help us move from that. But it is a workshop that I offer that I am very passionate about. And then I also have one about burnout. So yes. And then I do have a mindset shift framework, and I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to quickly run through it again. If you are interested in bringing this workshop to an organization or event, please let me know, because I would love to come out and talk about it. And again, help us continue to shift our mindsets and become our whole and healthy selves. But the mindset shift framework, it is in 4 parts. The first one is identity over imposter syndrome. Okay. First and foremost, you don't have to earn your worth. It's already been given to you. You are not an imposter. You are already anointed. God has qualified you for what the world is questioning it, right? So no more trying to put ourselves into these little square pegs when we are circles and sunshines. The second one is purpose over perfection. Perfection is moving towards a target that will definitely drain us, right? If we're trying to be perfect, I know I'm not going to lie. But if we do a purpose, your purpose will require you to fail forward. It will propel you to keep going forward. Okay. Sorry, I'm sitting here looking at my notes. I also have written that Psalms 138:8 reminds us that the Lord will fulfill his purpose for us. So we just have to trust. The third one is boundaries over burnout. Boundaries are not selfish, no matter what your family or friends, haters tell you. It is not. We got to start saying no to what drains us and saying yes to what aligns us and aligns with us and what fills us. And we got to remember, Jesus rested too. So if he can rest, why can't we rest? Because that's another thing. You know, we feel like, oh, well, I got to go. No, we got to stop. We got to refuel. We got to give ourselves and our body time to like just be. And then the last one is faith over fear. What do we know about fear? Fear will keep us stuck. Fear will keep us questioning. Fear will have us justifying why we shouldn't do something that we're supposed to be doing. So we've got to start moving out of fear. Please don't move out of fear. We got to start moving out of faith, right? And there's both of them are talking to you. Which one are you going to listen to? You going to listen to your fear or you going to listen to your faith? You can declare daily that you will walk by faith and not by sight, because we also feel like if I can't see it, then I can't do it. But we know that if God is ordaining our steps, that we don't have to see. It will be revealed in the right time.
That's the word. Say that one again. Say that again.
I don't know what I said. I said we got to walk by faith and not by sight. Like God has ordained us, and so he is going to make sure that whatever he has prepared for us, that we are ready for it. So this is also why we got to sometimes go through those seasons, because we may not be ready. And he's going to be right there with us. That's what gives me comfort, is that knowing that although I may not know the way, I know that he is guiding me, and he's going to plant my foot on solid ground as long as I am working in his purpose and doing what he wants me to do. Solid ground. Yes.
Come on. Building on solid ground.
Yes. So that's my for mindset shift framework. Again.
Let me know. So y'all show her some love. Identity over imposter syndrome. Purpose over perfection. Boundaries, over burnout. And then faith over fear. That is the framework, y'all. Y'all have met. Journey with J.Lee. Look, she was in the building. She was a wellness partner for our first summit for the quarter. But now you have heard the voice. You heard, I would say, the ministry of, right? Our stories are the perspective and the place from which we are equipped and graced to minister. So, the ministry of J.Lee. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for being a builder. We would love to have you back to keep encouraging. And remember, y'all, her information is scrolling across the bottom, so you can connect with her on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Remember, she's got the hold on, say it again. What's the name? The workshop
from stuck to unstoppable. Yes.
Yeah. So opportunities for her to come in and speak. She will be back with us for quarter 2 summit, the Grace and Grit Wellness Work Summit. So we will have more time to share some space. And she is building some things, y'all. So keep watch. She is connected in the Grace for this community, but we're inviting you to go and follow and connect with her. So it's big love. We appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and pull you down, and I will do the closing announcement, sis. Thank you, and we love you, big.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. This was beautiful and wonderful, and thank you, Kenitra, for creating a space for me to feel comfortable telling my story publicly for the first time. I appreciate it.
Yes. Look, let me pin boo. He speaks my language. Turn up. That's always me. right. Love you big, love you big, love you big. Woo! Shout it. My barrier low, y'all. Y'all pray for it. Pray for it. This workshop sounds amazing. Y'all make sure that you are connecting and encouraging her, y'all, because if you know what it's like to be a builder, honey, if you are already feeling the Lord tugging on you for this kind of work, then you understand what that pressure feels like. All right, y'all. So thank you. Again, that was Journey with J.Lee, baby. Boo, computer, don't you die on me. Do not die on me. There you go. I want to put her back up there. Cheese. Look, hair done grew. Long, got color and all of the things, right? So if you're not already subscribed, I want to remind you again, go ahead and to subscribe here. We are in the middle of, we're on our last leg again. I want to remind y'all, we're on our last leg for our Growing Through Grief Challenge. So shout out to everybody. GTG, drop something in the comments. We are in week 3. We will be doing our group therapy on Friday with Coach Q. If you still want to opt in, you can opt in for the group sessions. If you've been in the community and you like, I want to get in on it, go to graceforthis.net and you can sign up to get access for that. We would love to have you and continue doing that work in the more private, intimate space. Okay, so you can do that at graceforthis.net. This has been an amazing month. I will be back next week. And we're going to see what the Lord going to say, y'all. Remember on Fridays, we do the pH balance. Intercessor Lady J, our director of community affairs, leads us in prayer on that every other Friday, right? So this Friday is our pH balance Friday. And we will be in prayer at the 6:45 a.m. time block. All right. So make sure that you're ready for that. And then the last thing I will say is, if you like what we're doing here, fam, if you rock with it, if you really, I'm silly. I really am. And it's okay. If you rock with it, I want to invite you to opt into the text community. You can opt into the text community and you can get the updates. You can get the reminders. You can know when we are going live. You can get the right link. Look at Facebook, do something crazy like it's been doing the last 2 weeks. You'll have the link directly to the YouTube page, but there's some really amazing things going on inside of this space. And if you want to know when we are having a conversation, when we going live, if you want just the words of encouragement, if you want to know when we got an event going on, because baby, they are popping off this year. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to be in the know and just stay connected in a beautiful community where you can grieve, heal, and build together, this is where you want to be. So you can text Journey to the number on the screen. We would love to have you. We would love to greet you. We would love to celebrate with you and do this thing together in community. So having said all of that, this year is really given the scriptures, given the 1 Corinthians 15 and 10, because God was so gracious and generous. Here I am, and I'm not about to let this grace go to waste. I love y'all big. Peace out. Somebody texting me. I don't know who it is, but it's all right. My button being slow, but y'all remember when I used to sing and dance at the end of every live? I still do it. Y'all just don't get to see it because the video runs. All right. Like to hear it? Here it goes. I'm hungry. Let me eat my food. Hello, my name is Kenitra Moselle, and I am founder of a beautiful community called Grace for This. We are about women taking ownership of their wellness journey in 3 ways: personally, relationally, and professionally. I'm inviting you to be honest about your grieving experience, your healing experience, and then lastly, your building experience. You're going through this because you're graced for this.